The driver's seat is presented by Ray Reese Volkswagen and Portland's Hyundai, Portland's #1 VW dealer, and Portland's newest Hyundai dealer. Now let's climb into the driver's seat on Miles Around Television.
So by now, if you're a regular viewer of the show, you know that I spent last April with Jaguar in England taking a look at the XK and Ian Cullum, the guy that designed them. Well, I'm going to talk about the R series of Jaguar and Jaguar's racing team. This brand dominated Le Mans in the 50s. These were the guys that introduced disc brakes to the cars, and they won Le Mans year after year, 54, 55, 56, 57. This is a car company that went out and proved their cars were great racers. First of all, it was the C-Type, then the D-Type, and finally the E-Type. Jaguar had a name for racing that dominated the European scene for almost a decade, and the car company did it again in the 80s. What came out of that was some of the technology that is still used in the R series today. And the difference between the XK and the XKR is the great supercharged under the hood, and Dennis will get to that in a while. But some of the other things, like those brakes, the steering, the actual speed of the vehicle, all these things were tested on those fields in the 50s and the 80s, where this car took over the racing scene. And today it's given us what is truly a great piece of British engineering.
Well, that is truly the adage that has always been known in the automotive industry. Race on Sunday, sell on Monday. Now, that might have been a phrase coined by American car makers. It doesn't matter what the brand, it still is a tried and true method of making people excited about your new cars. Now, these two automobiles behind me are fantastic representations of a true classic design. Front engine, rear drive, long nose, short deck. It's a sports car with a grand touring twist. Though the regular car is very capable with its 300 horsepower V8, we're going to look at both interiors and, more importantly, the supercharged engine under the green car's hood. Now, all over the world, Jaguar has always been known for performance cars and luxury cars. These are performance cars, so let's get started under the hood.
So we have both hoods open of the Jaguar XK and the XKR. The big difference under the hoods, of course, is the XK has the regular V8, but under the XKR, we have the V8 with the supercharger, right, Dennis?
The standard XK has 300 horsepower, but we're going to focus on the XKR. 420 horsepower and 413 pounds-feet of torque out of 4.2 liters of V8 power. Now, what I'm talking about is trackable power. This car has a great high RPM rush. If you want to step on it really hard and go as fast as you can, as quick as you can, you'll be rewarded by a great exhaust note and a great feel from the wheel. But everyday driving is also a very trackable experience. This car in traffic doesn't make you feel like you're driving a car that's tuned to just go fast. It will go in traffic just as simply as it will go on the racetrack. Now, before we move on to the exterior of the two beautiful Jags sitting next to me, I want to make one more performance note, the difference in between the suspension and the tires and brakes. Now, the XKR gets a larger brake caliper and a larger rotor in the front to give it more stopping power. When you're talking about a car with 120 more horsepower, believe me, you're going to want that. And the other major difference is the standard Jaguar XK gets Dunlop tires, sort of an all-season radial, whereas the XKR gets Pirelli P0s. Not as much tire wear, but definitely more grip.
So when I did my prep for the 2008 Jaguar XK and XKR, I came up with 22 minutes of exterior talking points. Well, we don't have that much time in the show, so I've tried to condense it for you. Two things about the design of the car. Ian Cullum is the designer, and you all know I got to spend some time with him last year in England. He designed his car from the top down, which is very different from any other vehicle. It wasn't designed from the front or the side. And he's also responsible for designing cars like the Aston Martin DB7, 8, and 9. So he has a great reputation in the industry. But let's talk about the fit and finish and the manufacturing of this vehicle. That's one thing that's really outstanding, and Jaguar have done an excellent job in their Birmingham plant of putting this car together. A couple of things that you probably don't know about the vehicle are the fact that it's actually glued together with the panels. They use rivets to hold it and some very special kind of bonding to actually put the panels together. That's new and intuitive. But they also do something to make sure the fit and finish is exact on this vehicle. When the doors are originally fitted, when the metal is pressed for the first time, those doors stay with the vehicle throughout its whole production. Now, in a lot of car companies, the doors will come off and they're going to be sprayed separately and manufactured separately, and then they match the right door with the right color of vehicle later on. Well, the doors stay with the car, which means you get the same doors that were fitted in the first place to the doors that are fitted at the end. And that's Jaguar's concept of making sure that the fit and finish of this car is perfect.
Now I'm going to get down to brass tacks. I believe that Nick had a good point talking about how the car was put together, but I want to talk about how it really looks in the driveway, or for that matter, driving down the road. Now the car behind me in that beautiful red color looks great, but it's about the XKR nose. I think that they did a very good job of being able to make the car look more aggressive. This low slung front end, the special grille inserts make the car look aggressive, but special note, this is a sports car. You don't have to worry about going up driveways or about the curb in front of you. I don't know how they did it, but Jag, my hat's off to you. It's a special car with a special front end that I won't take off every time I park in the driveway. Moving to the interior of the 2008 Jaguar XK and XKR, I have to make a note of the two things that I'm definitely going to say are ups on the interior. The first is the beautiful suede headliner and the nice aluminum accents on the XKR model. The other is the driver's position. I like the fact that I can sit kind of low slung in the vehicle. It makes me feel like I'm driving this $250,000 sports car, even though I'm in a Grand Touring car that I could drive every day.
A couple of things to note that the Jaguar have done on the interior of their car is the seat adjustments now on the door panel, and of course they've got that really amazing navigation system that encompasses the HVAC controls and the audio with the flash computer system. Now that's all well and good and it looks great, and Jaguar were the first car company to use it, but the downside to that is if the computer goes down in the car you could become stranded. Overall, a nice ride, luxurious on the inside of the XKR and the XK. Time to talk about our two ups and one down for these, the 2008 Jaguar XK and XKR. Well, let me tell you, my two ups are fairly simple for these vehicles. The first one has got to be the exterior design. This car is so beautiful, and it's also heritage involved in the design of this vehicle. Ian Cullum has managed to bring the Jaguars of the 50s and the E-Type through to the modern design. The other has got to be the driver of this vehicle. The engineering of the 2008 Jaguar XK and XKR is so great, they increase it on a progressive range. Every time they update the vehicle, they increase the horsepower. They're moving forward with their driving and the development of these vehicles, and that shows me a car company is actually making things happen for themselves. My down for this car has got to be something that's a little complicated but also very simple on two different levels. First of all, the 2008 XK is just over $70,000, a fair price for what you get on the road, but the XKR is almost $90,000, and that's $20,000 more for what I see as a supercharged engine, a different hood, and some different things on the grille. Now, I think that's quite a big jump to go to a supercharged engine.
My first up is going to be the value versus performance that you get for the standard car. 300 horsepower doesn't seem like a lot in today's atmosphere of super sports cars or even great Grand Touring machines, but 300 horsepower is all you need for the style and the panache you get with the standard XK. Moving on to my other up, the XKR, 90 grand is a lot of money. 90 grand for what you get in this car is actually a very easy ticket to swallow. The supercharged V8, the great brakes, the differentiating in the styling in the front end, the beautiful leather, and the R on the brake calipers all make it special to the buyer and to the company. Now, when it comes to a down, even though Jag has done a monumental step forward with the integration of their navigation and audio systems, introducing the flash, for me, it's still a little cumbersome. I think that they move it up just a little bit in technology. That won't be my down for the vehicle. By the way, that completes our review for the 2008 Jaguar XK and XKR. Let's first start off with the 2008 Jaguar XKR. It comes standard with a 420 horsepower, 4.2-liter V8 engine and a 6-speed automatic transmission. The standard vehicle price is $86,035 with an as-tested price of $89,200 even. City mile per gallon EPA rating is 15 and the highway EPA rating is 23. Now the standard Jaguar XK comes standard with a 300 horsepower, 4.2-liter dual overhead cam V8 engine and a 6-speed automatic transmission. Its standard vehicle price is $74,835 with an as-tested price of $78,800. City mile per gallon EPA rating is 16 and the highway mile per gallon EPA rating is 25.
The driver's seat is brought to you by Ray Reese Volkswagen, family owned and specializing in Volkswagens for over 15 years, and proudly presenting the the all-new Portland Hyundai. Check them out at rayreese.com.